Count it down. I gotta say, those rigs on our countdown look pretty sweet.
Yeah, they do.
This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Colby Valve, and 4 Patriots.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 433, Marketplace Madness, Fordyce edition.
Tonight, Aaron gets gas, Coy is stuck in gear, and Ben works on his inner lost boy.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron, Coy, and my name is Ben, and welcome to the show. And wow, I really said that weird. What's new, guys? How's it going? And howdy there, Raggle Fraggle.
Bubba, it's like you know me.
He does.
We didn't see you at SEMA, by the way, Bubba.
So, Aaron, I'm curious. What type of gas did you get? The good kind or the bad kind?
87 octane. So the last thing I really did with the Nissan was I put that axle in, and it was low on gas driving it into town, and then I drove it home, and is like the light's been on, and then I used it on the property some, and the lights, like the gauge is even lower. I don't know how much gas is in there, and like, I want to drive that to work this week. So I went and filled up some jerry cans and brought them home. After work today, drove the Weiss truck so I could get some gas, because I don't think it would have made it to the gas station, to be honest, and I'm 5 miles from the gas station. And I was like, let's just make sure it starts before I even take the time to do anything. I put 5 gallons in it first, and then I went and got the keys and put it in, and like not even a click. So deader than a doornail. And since we talked the last time when I used it a couple weeks ago, I had a trickle charger on it, like a float charger, just to maintain a battery, not an actual charger, just a float charger. And it didn't maintain nothing. So I got the big charger on it now. And then I also realized that I don't have any headlights, so I couldn't drive it to work anyways, because my headlights aren't working. I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm back to being frustrated with the Nissan. So I got to figure out what the draw is on the battery, why I don't have any headlights. Also, I'm teaching a off-road recovery training class this Saturday to some friends on my property on the dirt bike track. So got to get going for that. The good news is I don't need headlights for that part. So I just need it to be running under its own power. So
I have a feeling that your drain is linked to your headlights. Like there's a short somewhere or something like that, draining the battery.
Probably not, but we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Do you want me to come help with your off-road class so that you can get your Jeep unstuck? I can pull you out.
I don't have a Jeep, Coy.
Or sorry, your Nissan. I'm so used to talking crap about Jeeps. Just comes out that way.
I mean, if you're not doing anything Saturday, maybe. Yeah.
Excellent. Maybe I will. If you don't,
yeah.
That'll be fun. I don't know what I have going on. We'll talk later.
Yeah. I'll hit you up on Grindr.
Yeah. Tim, I appreciate that comment so much.
Yeah. You know what, Tim? The Nissan hasn't seen a lot of love this year, and it is sad. I haven't had an opportunity to use it, so it has just been sitting, and that's that. So, in fact, I'm even trying to get a camping trip together in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to use the F-150 instead of the Nissan for this camp trip.
You are just it's all complete vehicle neglect right there. It's like you're like so disheartened by it. It's like, oh, it's boring now that I've done all the fun stuff that V8
not
swap.
it's not that it's boring, it's that I don't have the opportunities this year, the time and opportunities to go do some big wheeling trips or anything. So it has just like been pushed in the corner of my life. In fact, I had when I got home, I immediately planned to work on the Nissan, and the kids came running over there and they're like, Papa, number 19 is in the neighbor's yard. And I'm like, oh, how in the world? So number 19 is one of our 3 cows. And it somehow broke through the fence and ended up in our neighbor's yard. And these are the one and only neighbors we have that they don't like us. So they're world class, not nice people. So after coaxing the cow back, the good news is the cow is easy to get. It'll follow a bucket of grain. So got it back in, and then I spent 2 hours making field fence repairs, slamming
Just
T-posts in the ground.
get a hot wire, man. Just put a hot wire up.
It's along a section that is full of blackberries. Everything else is hot wire except for this one fence line, and it was near an apple tree. And I think what they were doing is they were reaching up and eating the apple tree and leaning over and pushing harder and harder on this barbed wire field fence, and just crushed it down. So,
Once they learn how to do that, it's hard to get them to stop. It's the problem.
well, I put up that cattle panel, which is like 5 foot tall and 12 feet long.
Nice.
And it's like big gauge, like 11 gauge stuff. So
Yeah.
it's panel. They won't push through that. I put in T-posts in and wired it all up to that, and it won't be a problem now. So that's what I did. I took this cool picture right here of my wife's truck and the sun going down, looking over our property. So it's kind of a fun picture.
That's such a
other
farmer.
than that, that's a farmer picture.
Yeah, it's so farmer. Feel like that truck needs one of those bumper stickers about did you eat this morning? Thank a local farmer, something like that.
Yeah, hug a farmer.
Farmers only account picture.
Beyond that, I used a coworker's Toyota Tacoma to pull a scissor lift out of the gravel. So scissor lifts don't do really good in gravel.
Not so good.
So no. Josh says too bad that wasn't the Nissan in the picture. Absolutely too bad. I would have loved to have the Nissan showing off in that picture. And
I've seen some pictures of Josh absolutely just slamming through some mud in his Nissan, and he doesn't even have a podcast, Aaron. He's just a guy with a Nissan. He wheels the daylights out of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going through the comments. I missed a bunch here. So he's talking about Ben being all bundled up.
Can you see my breath?
Whoever Reckless Motorsport is, I'm not sure. He says, guess it's time to show them how many friends you have.
Assuming that's talking about your neighbors.
My neighbors, yeah. I know they know how many friends that I have and how many friends of those are firearms enthusiasts. So
that's why I don't think you.
Yeah, I don't think that I have an issue there. So
well, you just need to invite the friends with full auto over. That's even better.
They do come over and we do shoot like full auto. And
I was gonna say I've been there when those friends came over.
Yeah,
they're super stingy with their full autos. It's not like YouTube videos where I'm like, oh, I've never shot one. They're just like, no, this is all my ammo.
And then let's see, we got the police and the county folks that come out, and the jail folks that come out, and the firefighters that come out. Yeah, I've got a lot of good friends. So yeah, how about you, Ben? What have you been up to? I want to find out what this Lost Boys all about.
Nothing actually really off-road. Just been helping my son prep for his play. I think I talked about set building last week when I got back from from SEMA. He's playing Curly. He's the lost boy that shoots Windy out of the air, and I offered to make him his bow for his prop. So I went and I cut a branch off one of our cedar trees and made a nice little bow with some paracord. And I was like, oh, I could tactical this out a little bit more. And I actually used a real arrow from one of my stash and made like a soft tip for it. And he was shooting it down the hallway and out in the yard. So he's got a nice bow now. So
is the arrow going with him to the play?
Yes, it is. It's got like a rubber ball tip wrapped in duct tape and electrical tape. Not a
someone's losing an eye at this play. Coy, I'm money on it right now, Coy.
So how it's set up
is this still have a field tip on it? I gotta know.
No field tip.
It's just the blunt threaded end of the arrow with a big ball of tape around it.
Yes. Well, no, there's more than
you left the field tip on it so that eventually the ball tape hit and then the arrow just went through it. It's like, well, hey, that's weird. It seems shorter than it was before. Why is it falling down?
If for some reason that was the case, there's going to be no one on that side of the stage that is shooting, and we're not having any Alec Baldwin like activities happen in this school play. So no.
Oh, somebody's going to be loading his bow for him beforehand, but they'll have been shooting it out in the parking lot with real arrows, and then the real arrows will get mixed in, and they'll accidentally really shoot Wendy.
No, there's only 2 arrows going with him. There's the one that he's shooting, and there's the one when Wendy comes out and she falls onto the stage, and she's holding it up like it's in her. So.
I'm not aware of this play. I've only seen the cartoon.
Peter Pan. Yeah. Wendy gets shot out of the air, the Windy bird. So
I gotta totally honest, it's been like 27 years since I saw it, so I'm a little rusty.
Probably me too. I gotta interrupt here real quick. I just on Facebook got a notification that I am a top fan for Badland Industries. I don't know if you guys are or not, if how high up you are with these other companies, but
not up that high.
I'm a top fan of Badlands Industry, so I just thought I'd put that out there for just for the world to know about.
Actually, so there was something that happened in my Facebook memories. Aaron, you and I have been friends for a little over 8.5 years on Facebook. Yeah, friends. Yeah, friends. Because our trip when we went up and we first met when we went on that Wheelin' with Warriors
trip. With Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, that popped up in my Facebook memories. And it's like, oh wow, there we go.
What's interesting is it didn't Eric says he just realized this Peter Pan not an 80s vampire movie. What's weird is in my timeline it didn't show up as an event, it just showed up as a cluster of pictures. So and there were other pictures from like earlier in the week or something in there, so it didn't register to me. And then you sent that, so I went back and looked, and I'm like, oh, sure enough, I got some pictures in there too. Thomas drinking hot cocoa on the side of the trail in the snow.
Yeah. So that congratulations on your 8 years as podcasting.
Tim, no, you got it right. It is back in the hood old days, not the good old days.
Yes, hood old days for real. Well, what about you, Coy?
So is Badland Industries still listening? I hope he is.
It looks like he says I'm the toppest fan.
Well, I know he's got a Colorado, and I'm sure since he has a Colorado, he's a big lover of the 5-cylinder 3.7 Vortec. So that Colorado that I have that I've been putting back together and got it all ship shape. Finally got the last of the backseat stuff, got all put together. Run like top, drove it to work, took the steam cleaner, washed the outside of it, detailed the engine bay, sprayed out the floorboards, went to drive it home, and it's stuck in third gear. It's an automatic, not a manual.
Yeah, so is it in a limp mode or?
Maybe, I don't know. It like when you go to move the shifter column, and it has the little illuminated indicator what gear you're in. You start it up, it says you're in first gear, but you can run it through all the gears. It'll go reverse, and you can put it in all the gears. But you go to take off, and you're like, man, this thing is kind of gutless, and it just stays in third all the time, and you could just, it works pretty good still.
You think it's like an electric? That's like an electric car. They only have one gear. They don't even use transmissions.
Maybe it is the 4L60, but like, it's got to be electronic. I scanned it and it said not communicating with the I can't remember what it is, the TCM transmission controller module or whatever. So I was starting to wonder if when I sprayed out the inside, I got some moisture in the body controller and it's not signaling right or something. So I don't know. I was hoping if I let it sit for a while, but it's just gotta dry up and start working again.
You got to park your truck in some rice.
Yeah, I got to send it to Japan.
Josh, I sold that engine. I don't have the 4.0 kicking around anymore.
Then I went up and was it Melbourne Park or whatever there in Oregon City? I can't remember. There's some park up there. They got a RC car track, and me and a buddy went up there and ripped around. Had a good time. That was about all I've done this week.
Tim's dredging up.
He's gone old school.
Some history here. He's talking about back when Steve was on the show, and he was building the Colorado. Coy's must be Steve 2.0 because he's building the Colorado. I never made that correlation.
No.
2.0.
I'm rebuilding a Colorado building.
As far as I know, Tim, he became a truck driver, so I don't think he works at the automotive recycler anymore. But I haven't seen hide nor hair from him on social media for 5 years, probably. It's been a while. We also want to thank our sponsor,
This Week in Review is brought to you by 4 Patriots. Have you ever been concerned with the shelf life of the food you take camping? Since you're a listener of the podcast, we know you at least keep some emergency food stashed in your rig. 4 Patriots sells a variety of survival food and equipment that pair great with the off-road and adventure lifestyle. 4 Patriots set up a special page for you at 4patriots.com/FRN so that listeners of the Off-Road Podcast can see this week's discounts and deals before they go away.
All right, guys, right into us with something that you'd like on your off-road Christmas list. We are doing our hypothetical gift exchange episode next week, and we're going to read those on air. And we're going to pick some of the people that write in at random.
What do you mean? What do you mean hypothetical?
I'm sorry. It's I'm on a budget this
year. You're not buying that stuff for me that you said you're going to get on the list?
We'll see.
That's why we brought you. That's why we brought you on, Coy. We thought you had the big bucks.
Yeah,
you're gonna get us some stocking stuffers and stuff.
I put it all in my retirement, and I can't get it out without getting fined. So maybe next year I'll contribute less to my 401k. Anyway, some of those that we read that you guys send in, we're gonna read those on air. We're gonna pick some of those randomly and send you guys a couple gift packs from our sponsors.
I actually was talking to Tim over the weekend, and I've got a Christmas gift pack for him that he's going to get. So he's going to get some Honda Odyssey parts left over from back in our minivan days. Some brand new parts that I bought, never installed. So Tim's a winner. Just got to figure out how to get him down to Arizona.
Sounds like a reason to go wheeling in Arizona.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month. Sorry, I had to go talk to the gremlins.
That's Patriot Patch's patch, along with it's November, so it's a twofer, along with it's not Bullet Bill. What is it for this guy?
Projectile Pete.
Projectile Pete. I like that. And let's not forget our patches. We've got those 13 shipped shipped to you in the US, United States, for one, 10 for any additional or 10 from picked up from us in person. So yeah, just shoot us a message through any of our channels and we'll hook you up with a PayPal link or Venmo if you're really desperate. And then, they also glow in the dark too, or at least the Lumen Locker one does.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road products store.
All right. Well, this next story is from, it got sent in to us from someone on, someone sent us this story from Reddit. Let me just start this over. Someone sent us this story from Reddit. Don't do this. This is something that happens when people who don't know better and drive places that they shouldn't. Let us use this as a chance to educate our fellow off-roaders. This is on a state park hiking trail in Michigan. Looks like she was starting to do a 3-point turn, and then she kept on going. This isn't treading lightly.
Yeah, this is what happens when a hiker orders Grubhub, actually.
This is what happens when Jeep people literally refuse to walk anywhere.
This is what happens when you give people a 5-star Uber rating.
This is what happens when you accidentally click the walking directions on the Google app.
I heard this is what happens when they close the trails in Moab and Jeep people just take those trails elsewhere.
This is also what happens when road hunters can't fill their tags hunting on the road.
Jeep people are the worst, according to Tim. It sounds like Tim's not going to be a Jeep person much longer, though. Attaboy. But seriously, they're hiking trails. It's a non-motorized trail. Don't drive on these trails.
Yeah, seriously, tread lightly. Be smarter. Obviously, I think this is an education thing. It's a stock Jeep. I think someone just really didn't know.
Yeah, and it's like Ben said, it's our job to inform these people. Someone's brand new. Instead of filming, this person should have just kind of like casualty skipped over and been like, hold up, this is a hiking trail. You can't be on this, rather than filming it and letting her drive away. It feels like that's a society word where people they want to get the video, but they don't want to talk to the person. And so now we've got somebody driving down a hiking trail. So
I want to know why the hiking trail's wide enough to drive down. And they weren't carefully driving, like hauling down it.
I'm going to guess maybe it's just in a spot right there that it was wide enough and the bushes weren't encroaching too much. Most hiking trails are pretty narrow.
Maybe it's like a gravel hiking trail and they're like, oh, it's a gravel road. Like it's one of those nice flat ones that are pretty wide. It is Michigan. It's pretty flat, right?
No, Michigan's got some mountains. Yeah. So anyways, our next story comes to us from Autoblog. And it is titled "The 2025 Ram 1500 adds the Hurricane Inline 6 and Unlimited Range EV." So let's start off talking about the EV first. So the range on the 2025 Ram 1500 Ram Charger is what they're calling their EV version, is effectively unlimited thanks to its onboard generator, which is simply just the 3.6 Pentastar V6. So you'll never have a dead battery unless you're out of gas. The CEO of Ram says that you won't have range anxiety with this truck. Ram says the new electric truck produces 663 horsepower and 615 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.4. That's very quick. 4.4 seconds is very fast for a sports car, even faster for a pickup truck. What do you think about that number, Coy? 4.4 seconds. Have you ever been 0 to 60 in 4.4?
I mean, I'm sure, but I mean, that's fast. Don't get me wrong. I feel like using a full size motor to power your electric generator to run your but why don't we use the full size motor to build some kind of heat friction and run a steam engine? Now hear me out here, guys. Check this out. What if we use that full size motor and then ran it through a series of complex gear reductions and then just drove the wheels using the power made from that internal combustion engine? I know it's way out there, but it's something we could do, I think.
I don't know. I mean, they're saying
technology to just go ahead and go straight from that Pentastar to the rear and possibly even the front wheels. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well, it's fed by dual motors. The front one produces 335 horse, the rear 320 horsepower. Kind of strange that I would just kind of expect them. They're that close. They're 15 horsepower difference. Why don't they just make them the same? What's the difference between 15 extra horsepower in the rear? So I don't know. But that Pentastar serves as a 130 kilowatt generator, and it's mated to a 92 kilowatt battery pack, which isn't a very big battery pack from what I remember. This is not a hybrid. It has a gasoline engine and 2 electric motors, but only the electric motors, like Coy was saying, drive the axles. So it is classified as purely a battery EV.
Check this out, though, Aaron. So can you ever outrun the power generation with it? You know what I mean? If we just took it to a racetrack and just with a full charge battery and then just went as fast as we could, put some sticky tires on there, put as much power through that thing as we could we ever get to where the engine couldn't supply enough power to it?
I don't think so. I was looking, so I pulled up what the Nissan Leafs have for battery packs, because I know one of them's got 40 miles, but it's only what is it, a 24 kilowatt battery pack. It's only 40 miles, and then there's one that's a 30, and then there's a 62 kilowatt pack. So you're looking at the more kilowatts, the more range.
Yeah, but that's doing 60 miles an hour at the cruise set if no wind. You're doing that 4.40 to 60 is not getting good fuel economy. You can burn through a lot of electricity when if somebody takes a Tesla to the racetrack, they can run the battery dead in half an hour.
Yeah, I think what Coy's saying.
I get
can you deplete the battery faster than the generator can charge the battery?
I'm sure if you're going fast enough.
I would like to think that this podcaster could.
I'm right along with you. Absolutely. Let's see here. It has here's some interesting. So it's got a max tow rating of 14,000 pounds, which I think is probably a class leader for half-ton trucks. That's pretty good. And it outpulls the gas-powered Ram 1500. So now let's talk about the gas-powered Ram 1500.
Hold on. Here.
Yeah.
You're skipping over the fact how it's being classified as a EV, because the battery, the motor. Well, I mean, but this is the future, isn't it? I mean, you've got an engine powering it, so that could be the future, right? No,
I don't think it will be. I really don't. But I did mention that.
Well, no, I caught that you mentioned it. I caught that you mentioned it, but there's Tesla Our Nikola Motors is the name of the company. They're doing semi-trucks, and they're using the same theory as they're using a generator with a smaller battery pack to allow for a much larger range, because you're not stuck on such a small, you're not stuck with huge heavy battery packs by switching out to a fuel to charge the batteries while on the go.
Yeah, this is nothing new though.
Yeah,
it's
it's almost like petroleum is really efficient at storing energy compared to a battery. But
yeah,
I like the idea of Eric Ewer says it's set up like a locomotive, which is true. They do work very similarly, but towing 14,000 pounds with this. So when you're just cruising down the highway, is your Pentastar motor just maxed out? Like, I want to know what it sounds like, because there's got to be moments when that Pentastar motor and generator is frantically trying to recharge the battery, but you're coasting. You know what I mean? There has to be times when the speed that you're doing doesn't line up with the noise that motor is making.
Are people putting aftermarket exhausts on their generators?
They are now.
To make them sound cool.
You got a cold air intake on it.
They're making them less efficient. They get less power out of them. Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing this for a long time. I don't know how long the diesel-powered electric locomotives have been around, but they've been producing electricity for electric locomotives for a long time. Let's see. So now we're going to jump over to the regular Ram 1500. So the 5.7 and 6.4 Hemis are gone. They're not using V8s anymore. They're going to be using the Ram's new Hurricane inline 6, which comes in 2 horsepower ratings, which we'll talk about here in a second. So they started this Hurricane inline 6 with the Jeep Grand Cherokee and the upmarket Wagoneer. So there's no V8, no diesel that's going to be offered for the 1500. Now we're not talking about the 3/4 or the 1 ton. We're just talking about the 1500. But what is in that 1500 lineup is the TRX, that 707 horsepower Hellcat powered half-ton pickup truck. So as far as we know, the TRX is currently on hold at Dodge. They aren't producing one for the 2025 model year. So that 3-liter Hurricane engine has 420 horse and 469 foot-pounds of torque, that's pretty good. 420 horsepower out of a 3-liter V6. And then they have a high output version, which is 540 horse and 521 torque. So it says that the Ram 1500 maxes out at 11,580 foot-pounds. Or sorry, not foot-pounds. Pounds for towing, which is what's the math on that? That's almost 2,500 pounds less than the battery powered version. You got a big grin there, Coy.
I got a private message. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just waiting for the zinger you were going to spit out.
No.
Yeah.
Can't read this one on here.
Oh. There's no official specs on that Pentastar motor either. But it probably is the 305 horse, 296 foot-pound of torque version that they're already using. So all of the engine choices are going to be offered with the 8-speed automatic. It says all 3 engine choices, but that doesn't make sense because there's only 2 engine choices and 1 generator choice.
Maybe they're using one of the old V6s for the like the, what is it, the e-torque or whatever it is they have in the Rams already.
I think there was mention of an old V6. That's right. Somewhere in that article there, it did talk about that. So also the Ram 1500 gets a new rear axle that's going to be offered in 321, 355, or 392:1 ratios, depending on your engine and towing selections. And the e-locker is going to be making return. And then there's a new ultra premium trim dubbed the tungsten trim. tungsten. So they're just coming out with all the different metals and gems and minerals just to sound cool. We got platinums out there. We got tungsten. Silverado probably has some brand or flavor that they rock to. So Ram says the tungsten sea salt indigo interior includes new platinum patina semi-bright dual texture metal accents featuring diamond knurling suede wrapped headliner A and B pillar suede wrap headliner A and B pillars and visors, and heated and ventilated premium quilted Natura Plus leather driver and passenger front seats with 24-way power, including memory settings, massage function, power lumbar, 4-way powered headrest. Good night. Other features include well-crafted, high-quality feel and appearance from the tungsten that make it look really nice, and a special tungsten badge on the center console featuring inlaid metal lettering and diamond knurling.
I have questions about this tungsten model. It's supposed to push it into 6-figure territory by adding the tungsten model on.
I wouldn't be surprised if it got you there close. It probably starts at 85.
It says it's supposed to be in 6-figure territory for the tungsten model. You skipped a little portion there.
Did I?
Yeah. The 2025 is an ultra premium trim dubbed tungsten, which should help the Ram nudge the 1500 into 6-figure territory without help from the TRX supercharged 6.2 liter. Yeah. Can you imagine?
I missed that bullet point.
Paying $100,000 for a fancy Dodge 1500. Like what? What does this thing do? Like, what is the package? Is all nice stuff, but that's not ultra premium. That's just a step up from basic. If I'm paying $100,000 for a 1500, it better do things to my body that are illegal in California, Massachusetts, and Utah. Like,
it's got vibrating seats, Coy. It's got massaging seats.
Vibrate really hard. I don't know what to say for $100,000 1500. I don't know.
I like what Travis says. It says massage feature with heated and cool seats is all you need. You might as well be comfortable while you're stuck.
It better come with like a PS5 and a premium game subscription or something too. So you might be stuck a while. You might as well go on some campaign modes.
Well, let me finish telling you what it's got. It says that it also proudly displays the vehicle identification number as part of that inlay, which is kind of weird. Brushed platinum patina aluminum litho bezels. That's a mouthful. Unique crystal effect shifter center cap. An ultra premium Clipsitch reference premier audio system with 23 speakers. All new class exclusive dual wireless chargers and a metal pedal kit. So there you go. Metal pedal kit. I had
I can actually buy this.
You don't get a real shifter either.
I can't wait till dudes are selling the tungsten parts to regular Dodge guys, like TRD Pro guys are selling their trim stuff. It's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. Oh boy. I'm not sure, Josh, what you're talking about here. 2% lanthanated. I don't know what lanthanated means, but I'm not a metal worker. I just connect wires together. So the 2025 Ram 1500 will go on sale next year. So 2024, with the Ram Charger arriving in showtimes in late Q3 or early Q4. So it'll be a while before we get some pricing on that. That's a lot of premium ultra luxury business.
Yeah.
No, Josh and Badlands, I'm not a TIG welder. I'm just a lowly MIG welder.
I consider myself more of a grinder than a welder, to be honest, but I can really smooth stuff out nice. Good, nice paddle wheel.
I'm lucky if I get the metal to stick together.
I just put textured paint on it. It hides everything.
Hammered, yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time for that main topic.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
Guys, you're really not going to believe this, but we pulled together our lottery winnings from the last time, and we won again. This time we won $180,000 after taxes. So we decided to split it 3 ways. And we're going to use our earnings to buy us some rigs to get us to California. We're leaving our guns. We're going to California, and back to run the Rubicon. And also, but more importantly, Fordyce.
We each got 50 grand to spend on rig and gear. The other 30 grand we're going to put towards lodging, food, repair bills, obviously a tow truck for Ben, and just, covering a few of our bills, while we're gone at home. We got to give something to keep the wives from complaining. So we'll throw them a couple grand and be done. Head out.
Yeah, there you go. Just throw some money at them and close the door and run away.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about the Rubicon, which we're going to run that trail, but the most important focus here is Fordyce. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Fordyce. Coy's going to talk a little bit about it. So the Fordyce Creek Trail starts off of Highway 80 east of Truckee and heads up into the Sierras following Fordyce Creek. The trail ends near Meadow Lake, a beautiful high Sierra lake that does not require 4x4 to get to it. Fordyce is one of the premier rock crawling trails of Northern California and is considered to be harder than the Rubicon. It has 6 water crossings that'll flood anything with tires less than 35 inches, multiple winch hills, and is a trail that should be done with multiple rigs that are equipped really well. 35-inch tires should be a minimum, as should front and rear lockers. This trail starts off easy and gets progressively harder when heading in from Highway 80. It is a gradually progressive, increasing and difficult all the way to Meadow Lake, meaning that if you start off at Highway 80 and encounter something too difficult, you can feel assured it only gets tougher, and that is a good time to turn around.
And even though this trail has 5 winch hills, the hardest obstacle is the deep water. It's normal to see a guy sitting in his Jeep, chest deep in water, motor dead, sleeping bag wet, and so on. The Fordyce Creek is not like most creeks. It doesn't get smaller as the summer progresses. The water flow comes directly from the Fordyce Dam, which is regulated by PG&E. I wonder if they regulate that like they do regulate the fires in California. Therefore, the hotter and drier it gets in Sacramento Valley, the more water they let out. Due to the late summer rush, many whitewater kayakers frequent the river, and the flow of water during the summer is tracked on www.dreamflows.com. And it's a good idea to check the water flow before you hit the trail. Over the weekend that we went, the flow was at 375 cubic feet per second, and anything over 175 is a little difficult to cross.
So I grabbed that from a Motor Trend. I should have mentioned we grabbed that from a Motor Trend article when they went on the trail. So apparently they showed up and it was 375 cubic feet per second, which means you're not crossing it because at 175 feet per cubic second, that's a tough one. So that's more than double.
So once a year, every year, the California Four-Wheel Drive Association puts on the Sierra Trek. This trip follows the trail from start to finish in one day. They start at 6 a.m. and get to Meadow Lake by about 6 p.m. During this weekend, they are able to have the Fordyce Dam turned down to around 50 CFS. This makes the rivers easy to cross and focuses the drivers on getting up the 5 winch hills.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what Fordyce is about. If you don't know much about it, I'd like to go there. I definitely am going to need a little bit more done to my truck if I'm going to go though.
Well, I mean, you just bought a new truck for this trip, right? Like, why take the Nissan?
Well, this is the hypothetical trip. We didn't actually, for those not savvy enough, we didn't actually win the lottery. We didn't actually build these trucks, but that's the fun of dreaming.
Honestly, these hypothetical road trips are some of my favorite episodes for us. It's fun for me to do this, do this pretend adventure. And
I mentioned it to a buddy. He told me the same thing. He said that these Marketplace Madness or the hypothetical trips, he said, are his favorite shows also.
Well, good. And we don't show each other what we've done before. We might give each other some hints and kind of feel around so that we don't accidentally both pick the same vehicle, but we play it pretty close to the vest. So I'll go ahead and start off because I'm pretty proud of what I did. It was tough for me. I really wanted to go outside of what I normally do. We all know I'm a Toyota guy. The easy choice for me, get another Toyota. There's lots of built Toyotas and go do Fordyce. But I went, you could say completely different. I got a 2004 Ford Explorer Sport Track XLS Sport Utility pickup truck for $15,000 at the cheap price of $15,000. And before you say you're never going to take this down there, this is really, it's had some stuff done to it. If you're looking in the live feed, it's really not a sport track anymore. But seller's description is a fully built sport track, 4-linked, 1-ton Dana 60 front, worn hubs, PCS hydro assist, 3.8 diff cover, high steer over the knuckle kit, truss Sterling, 10.5 rear disc brake conversion in the rear, or 10.5 Sterling rear end with a rear disc conversion in the rear, 14-inch coilovers in the rear, 16-inch in the front, custom built in Eugene. 5.38 Yukon gears front and rear, limited slip in the rear spool and locking hubs up front. Speakers, subs, winter shifters, 96 fuel injected, 460, complete overhaul, all new sensors, plugs, injectors, wires, rotors, etc. MSD billet starter, MSD ignition, and it comes with 42 by 14 on 16-inch rim, IROX on beadlocks.
I like Bad Last Industries comment here, Coy. Are you sure you don't want to pick the Colorado with extra neutrals?
I only have one. I have all the gears. I mean, I don't have any extra gears. I'm missing gears. I don't have first, second drive, strangely. Wow. So that's what I'm taking, guys. And, these IROX in there.
What'd you pay for this?
A 15 even.
15 even. All right.
I didn't even Jew him down. I just paid him exactly 15 for it. I didn't even talk him down. I just gave him what he's asking.
Okay. All right.
So,
do you have more pictures of it or just the one?
That's no. Oh, I already went through them, but you were doing something else. Okay. So there we go.
All right.
I
like that. And $15,000. I bet that guy spent double that building that truck.
Oh, I bet he did. So,
are you going to modify it or are you just going to run it?
Oh no, I got it. No, I'm not doing a lot to it. It's kind of there. It's kind of there.
Okay.
So the tires on it, they're under 50%. Nobody sells a rig with good tires on it. You know what I'm saying? So I went over to our friends at Mickey Thompson. I'm not going to drive this down the street. This thing's not really street legal. So I picked up a set of the Baja Pro X. These are a non-DOT tire. I got those in a 43, 14.5, 17. It looks like a four-wheeler tire crossed with a monster truck tire. Just a burly tire. Figured that's what I'm going to use. A nice sticky. I don't want to deal with that chirping. I want some stickies. So I got the stickies. Obviously, those come into 17. The wheels on this are 16. So I picked me up some Method 105 version 3 beadlocks in gold because this thing's maroon. So the gold wheel's going to look good. Like, why I don't know why that's changed around there.
I was deleting some photos at the top
Oh.
end.
Makes it really hard for me to click on them when they move. And then obviously I got to winch this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to be spouting out all the prices too, I guess. So I got a Warren M8274. You know, that's coming in around $3,000. I got the Methods. That's $2,000 for those. The Baja or the Mickey Thompson Baja Pros, 3,700. That's all I'm doing for my truck build, guys. I'm into this, like 22, 23 grand really for the truck. But there's a lot more to one of these trips than just a truck, right? I guess I got a few more things for the truck. I had to get some lighting, so I went with let's see, the XK Glow 36-inch 360-degree SAR kit. I don't know if you guys
you and Ben like those SAR lights.
They're cool lights.
They are
cool. There are 4 light bars that you hook on one on each side, and there's a controller you can controls all 4 at the same time, so you can actually rotate it and it'll turn off LEDs. It's like you have a spotlight, but it's just moving the LEDs that are lit up
pan around all of them.
Yeah. So I got that for lighting because I don't know if we're going to do any night runs or anything. And I obviously got some more money here. And, you know, camp light, it's 360. I can really just blast the camp, get some light. And that was, let's see, you know, it was like $2,800. It's just, it's not too bad. All right. Now, guys, now we get into the other stuff here. I felt like I need a little power generation, so I picked up this Honda EU 7000. Now, this is a really good generator. It's the biggest inverter style generator that Honda makes, and this thing comes in at $4,999. It is a lot of money.
But that's actually cheaper than I thought it was going to be. No kidding.
On Northern Hydraulics, bro, they have great deals on generators. Check it out. So yeah, I went ahead and picked that up. It's not really going to fit so much on the crawler, but at camp, we need power. We got to charge our phones. Maybe we're going to run some podcast gear. And since I had this much power, I went ahead and picked up. I got this used off Craigslist. This is a Quiznos conveyor oven for toasting sandwiches.
How long have you saved that picture for, Coy? Because you and I talked about that months ago.
I recheck all the time.
It's still for sale, apparently.
No, this is a different one. So the one I should have bought was $350, but I said, you know what? I got the money now. I'm bringing a conveyor oven. We're gonna make sandwiches. I know you guys didn't buy jack for food stuff. I'm gonna be in charge of cooking. I'm gonna make you guys some toasted subs that will blow your brains out. Like they're gonna be so good back at camp. The inverter generator is gonna be quietly powering my 240 volt conveyor oven. You guys are going to mix up your own sandwiches, just slide them in one end, and just be waiting with the open mouth on the other end for the conveyor to feed it to you.
That was what the other 30K, like we won 180K. We each got 50. There's 30K left over. And
I'm not buying food, okay? I bought this to cook food. You guys are still buying your own sub bread. Like, I'm not buying bread.
Okay. You're not buying the okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And this is coming home with me. So just to be clear. Let's see. And I ended up, that was the cheapest one I could find on Facebook. It was $13.50. So it's a chunk of money. I actually should have pulled that trigger on the one we talked about. We'll get to that, Josh. We'll get to that.
I think it had some issues though.
Yeah, but it was $350. How many issues could it have had? All right. And obviously you guys, I'm sure you didn't think of this, but we got to keep our food cold. And how else are we going to do that than with this ARB 101 quart fridge freezer? All right. This thing is a beast. It is huge.
I feel like I'm on the show place, the show place showdown or whatever it's called from,
it's ARB. It's off-road stuff. Okay. I'm getting some of the stuff I want for me personally on this deal.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
And this is only, this comes in, it's not too expensive for a fridge. It's only $1,750. So It's the biggest one I could find without going to one that's like for a mobile blood bank or something, which the price actually goes up quite a bit on those.
On the blood bank ones?
Yeah, it turns out. So pick that up. Oh, these pictures didn't pop in the right spot. It's weird. And then I need a new tent for this, guys, and I'm not sure what time of year we're going here. So I went ahead and picked up.
We're renting a cabin. We're renting a cabin in the woods.
You're renting a cabin. You're renting a cabin. For $1,250, I picked up a San Nemez air bushcraft inflatable tent. Wow, these pictures came out horrible. This is just a little inflatable tent, and by little, it is 78 inches by 78 inches. It is a hot tent. It has a stove jack in it, so if it's winter, I can run that stove. Look at that! Look at that interior.
That's not very. That's like 6.5 feet by 6.5 feet. That's not very big, but I guess
it's for me.
You're sleeping in it. Yeah, it's for you.
No,
that's fine.
I didn't invite you guys. I said it was for me. My tent. What? Why am I spending money on tents for everybody? I like cooking. I don't like sleeping with dudes. So I'll go ahead and get some food preparation items, but that's my tent, and it's a nice one.
I'm glad you made that clear.
Yeah, maybe we can use it on some other stuff. Anyways, I think I said already, but $1,250. Actually, not that bad. I actually like that tent in real life, so I just took that opportunity to use it. And then, Aaron, this is partially for you. I picked up a Blackstone 17-inch adventure ready griddle / air fryer. That's right.
Air fryer?
That's an air fryer on the side. Air fryer, boys.
What?
So, and this is only $519. Luckily, see, good thing I bought that $5,000 generator. I can be running the air fryer and the conveyor oven at the same time.
Well, I think the air fryer on that one is just propane powered. Like you don't.
No, it's electric. I checked because if it was propane, I probably would have bought it. But nope, it's electric. All right, guys, and that was, like I said, $519 for that piece of equipment, and that brought my total into about $36,707.29. It all totaled up to. So I had some money left,
down to the penny.
And since I didn't buy DOT tires and I couldn't drive it there, I went ahead and picked up whatever. My picture for it disappeared apparently.
Uh-oh.
Yep, lost the picture. Hang on. Well, anyways, I picked up a 1990 Ford F-350 XLT Lariat King Cab ramp truck. Yeah.
Ooh, fun.
So, like I told you, Ben, I did not get a tow rig. I got a rig that I could put my truck on top of. And then if I have to, I could tow you.
Badlands says the Clampus moved across the country with less.
And that truck only came in at $10,500. Let me try.
Can you upload that picture? I gotta see this picture of this ramp truck. Mostly because I gotta know if there's enough space on it for my rig.
No, but if you get a trailer, we're in. I don't know.
All right.
Here. Hang on. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share this to Ben. Ben, you bring it up because I have no idea how to do this quickly.
Okay.
So you got a ramp truck. Anything else? Or was that the end of it?
That actually left me with $2,792. Figured to get me some souvenirs and whatnot.
You're not going to buy me a trailer with that $2,000?
We could get you a trailer. I just didn't know you needed one. I assumed you used your money. I assumed you used your $50,000 to get all the stuff you needed.
Yeah, and then some.
And then some.
Yeah. You want me to kick off my build?
Ben, I sent that picture. If you can throw that up.
Yep, I'm just grabbing it right now.
All right, here's mine. While Ben's getting that picture up, I bought a 1941 Dodge Power Wagon. Look at this beauty.
That is awesome.
It's so awesome. All right, there's the ramp truck.
That is pretty sweet.
That looks
not going to get there fast. It's definitely gutless, but it's a quad cab, really, man.
Yeah, It's true.
And people think I need a trailer. I can fit all my glamping camp gear on the bed of that and in the back seat and stuff. Like,
I mean, realistically, you could just get a roof rack for your truck and then toss all the stuff on top.
I'm all encompassing. Like, I bought everything I need to do this trip other than the food and toilet paper, and I'm done.
You did pretty good. You did pretty good. I ran out of money.
Well,
And
I bought enough. I knew you would, so I got the food stuff for you, so you're good.
As you can see with this truck,
It's a little rough.
It needs everything. It looks like it's got a winch on the front, which I didn't notice until now, at all. But I'm not going to use that winch. It has no bed on the back.
Wait, you're not going to use that PTO driven winch that's probably rated to carry that truck straight up in the air? Man,
no. It comes with a bed. Here it is, somewhere else on this guy's piece of property. And here's the sweet interior. Pretty original, I would say. It doesn't have a sunlight tack strapped to the steering column or anything, so pretty original. All the dust is original.
Do you think your stomach can fit between the seat and that steering wheel?
Hey.
I know mine can't.
It's like cruise control, Coy. you just lean into it. It drives straight down the road.
Cab's gonna start filling with smoke from all the friction off my gut on that steering wheel.
Yeah. So let me go down the list here of stuff. Ben's deleting my photos too.
Oh, did I delete one of yours?
Yeah, I'll get it back in there. All right. So this truck needs everything. It hasn't run in over 25 years. So I spiffed it up with a new set of axles. There's a company called Fusion 60, and I got a company called Fusion, and I got some of their Dana 60 axles with ARB lockers and 538s front and rear. That was just shy of 14 grand just for axles. And their axles didn't come with all the brake stuff, so I needed to throw another $2,500 worth of brakes, power boosters, brake lines, everything at this, just so I can stop it. Power steering, because I'm going to run some big tires on here. I had to get one of those PSE setups, a little partial hydro setup with it. I'm $2,000 into that. And here's what I did. I went on Craigslist and I found, so I don't have a bunch of pictures like Coy. Sorry, I didn't get all the pictures, but I went on Craigslist and I found a brand new.
We'll take that picture down so I can see your face, though.
Chevy 454. You want to see my face?
Yeah.
You tired of looking at my truck?
Yeah.
I found a rebuilt Chevy 454, completely redone, makes 450 horse and high 400s in torque for $4,500, like complete. It's not a long block. No, this had everything. The alternator. It did not have a carburetor though, but it had the manifold. It had like usually when you buy a crate motor, it's missing a bunch of stuff. This had everything except for exhaust manifolds and a carburetor. So pick that up for $4,500, and it came with a transmission and a torque converter. So I'm good to go there. I need a transfer case. So who do you go to? You go to Advanced Adapters and get one of their Atlas transfer cases. Those are only $3,500. Piece of cake. Drive shafts, custom drive shafts, $700. Those are one of the cheapest parts on this build. Throw some inexpensive headers and cheap dual exhaust. It's $1,000. The cooling system, so radiator and some hoses, is $500. Pretty basic cooling system on these Chevys. And I'll get to why I bought a Chevy 454 in just a minute, rather than the old LS swap or the LSX swap. So actually here we're going to get to it right now. I bought a Holley EFI sniper system. So for $1,700, you put this EFI where a carburetor would go on the Chevy big block. And Josh, are you telling me you don't trust a guy off of Craigslist who's rebuilt an engine? So I bought the Holley Sniper EFI system, and I'm mounting all the electronics up high. If you guys were paying attention, they get a lot of water in the cabs in the vehicles that go through Fordyce. So I wanted a basic engine that's not going to have any electronics to deal with. That's why I went old school. I went super old school. So all the EFI components, I'm going to somehow get them built up into the headliner area where you normally put your CB radio up there. That's going to be my Holley EFI computer running this bad boy. Fuel tanks are surprisingly inexpensive when you go to Summit Racing. They're only like $260 for a 20-gallon fuel tank. So I got a fuel tank, a pump, and some lines for $500. Leaf springs all the way around on this truck. It's a classic. We're just running leafs. Everything's leaf. Nobody's believing my Craigslist motor here. We got a lot of glitter comments. You guys have no trust in humanity. So custom front and rear leaf pack all the way around. And then just some long travel shocks.
The comments are on fire tonight. Oh, Josh's comment. He'll be the last one. Travis says more glitter than a stripper, and Josh says, "Oh, he'll be stripping the motor down for sure."
So I got some long travel shocks for $1,600. And then at this point, I had some really sweet wheels, and I actually had those exact same tires Coy had picked out, those 43s. And I ran the numbers on my build, and I was well over $50,000. I was at like $59,000. And actually originally I had the Dana, what do they call it? The Ultimate Dana 60s. I had Ultimate Dana 60s on here, which added $5,000 to the cost also. So I went with some cheaper tires. There's a company called Gladiator. They make a tire called the X Comp MT, and is a 42 by 13 and a half, 42 by 13 and a half on a 17, $544 a tire. That's about as inexpensive as you can get for a 42-inch tire. Running some, I hope my roller, you're not once again mentioning that my engine isn't going to work, Josh.
That'll be an epic roller, Aaron.
And that's why I didn't go with a PTO winch. And then I'm running some Raceline Rhino wheels. They're bead locks, 17-inch bead locks, $407 a wheel. And just so everybody knows, I bought 5 matching tires and 5 matching wheels. I'm not going to be the guy showing up on the trail with only 4. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And then to keep the water out of the engine, I've got a custom snorkel fabricated for $800. My budget at the beginning, because of all the cost, didn't allow me to get a nice winch, so I just yanked the one out of the Nissan. It's a 10K winch. It's going to do me fine. And then I went with a Holley digital dash. Those are surprisingly inexpensive at only $1,300. I think it's a 6.9-inch screen. Kind of neat. Man, Josh, ouch. And then I got a couple 4-point harnesses for the interior, $250. I don't think that truck had seat belts, and I couldn't afford to change out the bench seat. So, yeah. So that's where we're at on my build. It came to just shy of $43,000. That's for just all the parts, not for any labor, not for very much of the fab work. So I'm hoping that extra $7,000 is going to afford me enough steel and welding wire and shielded gas to get this project put together, because I'm going to have to fab up some trailing arms, get some bushings. There's spring perches, all kinds of stuff I got to make. So
he's definitely going to need a friend with a plasma table.
Yeah.
New
so that's where I'm at on my build
motor.
Well,
press on your motor.
So this is I didn't look for an idea until I was all done building my truck, and I came across this build from Daystar.
I remember
it's called the Moonshiner, I think is what it's called. And we had Daystar on the podcast years ago, and they talked about this build, and it's a really cool build. They had a lot of copper accents. They used it on one of those Ultimate Adventure type runs. It wasn't an Ultimate
Ian
Adventure,
Johnson was the one who was talking about that one.
Was it Ian Johnson? I thought we had Daystar on.
He was representing Daystar.
Oh, well, that would be why we had Daystar on.
Aaron, you missed one, what I would say is crucial detail on this truck, though. Pop up your first photo of that truck. Where are the headlights?
Yeah,
it's got the same headlights Nissan had.
Yeah, when you said you put a light bar on, I was like, oh dear, I don't even have headlights on my truck.
I got some KC Daylighter halogens in the shop. I can loan you for the. You can have
some. Yeah, let's just bolt them on or something.
Yeah, they're actually period correct for this. They're so old. So,
and I got to show one more cool picture. So besides this one, I came across this school bus photo of a Power Wagon that is super neat. I would have loved to be picked up and rode to school in this Power Wagon.
Have you ever rode in one of those Power Wagon World War II ambulances?
No, I haven't. Are they super loud inside?
The suspension is, it's 1940s, 1960s, that era suspension. If you were ever being transported in one with like any kind of spinal injury, I'm assuming you definitely were going to be paralyzed by the time you got to the hospital. Like, I know you think you wish you rode on this school bus, but no seat belts. Like, no, absolutely not. It's like riding a jackhammer.
Maybe all the extra weight of all the steel and glass, maybe it made the suspension a little more supple.
It's possible, but unlikely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump out with this right away. I'm going to start off with my tow rig because figuring that I would be the one with problems, I got a great tow rig to start it off. I picked up a 1995 GMC rollback truck. I figured,
does it run?
It does run. It's a 95 GMC Kodiak 6000 rollback truck. Everything runs great. Everything works. 35K miles on a gas 427 big block Chevy engine, Allison transmission, recent tune-up, brand new tires, ready to work now. Was a diesel with a previous owner. Everything was changed over from another Kodiak 6000 truck to a gas engine automatic transmission. All hydraulics work. This truck is the beast to get the job done. Clean title in my name. Anyone drives this truck can drive this truck with a normal Class C license, even though I'll have a B, but whatever. And then it's just like driving a bigger truck. 18 foot
Class C license. Is that just what normal people have?
Yeah, Class C is your standard license.
You peasants all have.
Yeah,
I got
you. But I mean, seeing that,
is that your truck on the back?
That is not my truck on the back.
That's your truck, Garen.
That's your truck on the back because I'll have room for it apparently, or I'll need to make sure I have room for it. But I decided to go with already built. So I went with this 2020 tube chassis rock buggy with an LS engine. So it's a 3-seat rock crawler chassis. It's a 3-seater, but that can be turned into a 2-seater easily enough. It's got the 5.3. It comes with a spare 5.3 that can be included with the sale. And TH 400 with reverse manual valve body, 32 spine output. Atlas 2 transfer case with the 3.8 low range, trail gear housings, 513 gears, Grizzly up front, zip in the rear, 4340 shafts. Fronts are cleared for 50 degrees. It's got PSC with the 2.5 RAM, 2.5 Radflow shocks, 12 in the front, 14 in the rear, aluminum beadlocks, 39-inch BFG red label crawlers, rear cutting brakes, twin pedal master cylinders from Wildwood, 18-gallon goat built tank, uses a stock truck fuel pump, and it's 1 3/4 DOM. So yeah, it's We Rock Pro Mod Tech certified. It's only got less than 10 trips on it, and it's for 3,500 or 35,000. Sorry.
I was gonna say, we got a zero missing.
Yep, 0 missing, and then it was 11,000 for the rollback. So, I mean, that's a ready to go rig plus tow truck to tow it down there, because I figure why buy a rig that has a trailer when I can just have a rollback truck, right?
I think you're gonna have a rough drive driving that Kodiak all the way to California.
I mean, at least I'll have an engine that's working when I leave too, though.
Yeah, so technically, once the Kodiak breaks down, he can just roll off the buggy.
So you guys,
and just taking it.
You guys are assuming that my Craigslist truck engine isn't going to work, but you'll assume that all of your Craigslist stuff that you're buying is going to work.
Mine only has to drive the trail.
Mine. Remember that $30,000? That mine's going to get down there on a shipping guy. I'm not driving it down there.
You're going to take our extra 30 and ship it or buy a trailer out of.
Yeah, it only costs like $1,000 to get it down there, $1,000 to get it back. That's still $28,000 for us to do whatever. Yeah. Or maybe I'll sell it down there.
You're not allowed to use my truck ever. It's super cool. There's so much cool stuff with my truck, all cool stuff, and you're not invited. I feel like you're making fun of our Craigslist motor. You brought like Korean, Taiwanese tires that we've never heard of, and that's going to take one of the biggest trails in California. Good thing you bought a spare. Honestly, I hope you got glue tread, the full patch kit.
I got spare money. I can go back and amend my tires. I can go get some nicer tires. That's just kind of where we ended up.
Just spend Ben and my portion of the extra. That's fine.
You know, it's funny is I was looking at different rigs, and I found this one built rig, and they wanted like 45,000 for it, and I'm like, okay, there I go. And then I was like, can I find a trailer and tow rig for $5,000? But I did find like a 1990 F350 with a rollback on it for 5,000. Almost went that route.
I'm going to be honest. One of the builds I tried to work out was there was another ramp truck. It was a yellow notch side Ford, like a 79 Ford quad cab ramp truck. And I was like, if I can find a 79 like Highboy or Bronco that I build and then put on this, that'd be a cool build. But I couldn't. That ramp truck was $25,000. I could not make it work for that kind of money.
And Travis is asking if no one tried to take advantage of Jag's misprint for the $600 Coyote motor.
I never even heard of that. Did they honor anybody who bought that? Because that would be awesome if they did.
I can't imagine that they would, man.
Never know.
Yeah.
Travis.
How was the trip, guys? Go ahead, Ben.
Travis was talking about Nate Pickle's latest video regarding Kodiak trucks, and Badland Industries stated that he was one of the ones out there in the Harbor Freight parking lot fixing it.
Trying.
Yeah. That needed a new rear end, essentially, if I remember correctly.
See, if I'd been there with my wheeler, it has a Sterling rear end. We could have pulled the rear end out of my Sport Track, threw it in his Kodiak, and got him there. Done.
Travis said all orders got canceled. Of course, they didn't honor that.
Yeah, I just wouldn't expect them to.
Lawsuit. Well, guys, let's talk about next week. We got our Christmas gift guide episode. So that means you have exactly 7 days from the time you hear this, if you're listening to it live, to get those Christmas lists sent in to us, what your 4x4 Christmas item is. And be able to be chosen for our gift pack. So get on that, guys. And in the comments, Midlife Bro Logic, what's Fordyce? Fordyce? It's a very difficult trail in California if you're being serious. So it's an off-road trail in California.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest trails in California. At least so yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's some trails along the train tracks in Fresno that are actually harder on a person's mind, soul, and spirit, what I've heard.
There's people in our comments tonight, which our comments have been amazing today. Thank you guys so much. But I'm looking in the comments and I'm seeing quite a few people in here who have not sent in their Christmas wish list. So if you guys haven't, send it in. It makes for some really fun content here and what you guys want, not just what we want. And you might win something. And even if you won before, you might win again. We're not those hosers that are like, no, you can't win more than once. So
yeah. So send that in to offroadpodcast@gmail.com and we'll get you on the list. Thank you, Midlife Bro Logic. Said serious question, but I don't do so. Thanks for listening in. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And thanks to everybody else who listens to us weekly through the podcast or who watches us live. We do appreciate you guys. It's a lot of fun having you guys on the show, having you comment. I don't appreciate you making fun of my Craigslist 454 rebuilt engine. It was a legitimate ad. The guy specifically said he doesn't need to sell the engine. He's not taking less for it. It's just a spare engine he has sitting around. Why would a guy lie on Craigslist?
Wait, he knew what he had? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he knew what he had. Yeah. We do appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Make sure you're sharing us with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your family over Thanksgiving. When you guys are listening to these shows over Thanksgiving, make sure you bring us up at the Christmas table. Tim, make sure you tell everybody that you're thankful for us. God bless America.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Colby Valve and 4 Patriots to see all of their great products. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our Linktree account or by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, and be safe and courteous. Thanks for listening.
I don't have anything to finish the show.
You didn't have anything to do the show.